Greetings there, blade fans, and welcome back to this old sword blade reviews. Welcome, especially you new subscribers. I hope you're following all the content, varied content, from budget blades all the way up to the pricier models. Well, how about SpyderCo? I haven't done them in quite a while, and isn't this what you think of when you think of SpyderCo knives? You think of the triangular shaped wide blade with a big hole. This is the Tenacious, nice budget model. Older one, got the clip up at the pivot there. But, you know, I'm not a big fan of this style SpyderCo. And no offense to those of you who are, because you've got your reasons, and we all collect different things. But, you know, that's kind of your standard SpyderCo looking knife. But how about these? Haha! Now these are not what I would call your everyday SpyderCos, at least not for me. These are quite different, but then again, if you look at the history of SpyderCo and the chances that the owner Sal Glesser has taken, you've really got, I mean, like the Masada Ayubs and the Jatsing Khalsas and lots of weird, I'll have to say, blade designs. I'd say, you know, they've gotten out there ahead of even the newer companies from China like Kubi and so forth for doing really audacious, outrageous designs. But these are some that I have held on to. And we're going to start in the middle with something called the tropon. And this is a very cool sword looking blade. It is a compression lock. It is a pocket opener. I wouldn't call that a wave, but it serves the same function as a wave. It is a Vote design. It is from S30V, I believe, which is pretty standard for a lot of the SpyderCo stuff coming out of Taiwan. And this one in particular has been modified by BJ Hill down in North Carolina, I believe, so that we removed the sharp choil area, which was, when the knife was closed, presenting a sharp point right there that people were getting cut on. And SpyderCo, I don't know if they're still making this, but they refused to change that. At least I'm taking it as refused. You can open it with a little itty-bitty spider hole there. I keep wanting to go in there for the release, but it is a compression lock, so it's on top. It's very smooth. Smooth micarta scales. Polished. You can see a nice grain to them. I had put a MXG clip on this, so it's deep carry. Works out very well. And I did do a review on this as well as the before and after of the changes that were made. Has a pronounced forward cant flipper tab, should you want to use the flipper tab. And it works very well out of the pocket with that hook right there. And the detent's just about right for doing all of those things, which isn't always the case when they do multiple opening methods on these knives. So that is the SpyderCo tropon. Definitely a departure from your standard everyday, what we think of as SpyderCo. Now, another one here is the Alexander designed Ikuchi, which is very unique in the way that this opens. Also a compression lock. Very loose once you release that compression lock. You've got a hole that goes all the way through the Spidey hole in the handle. Some people have even fooled around with putting a little padlock on there. I suppose if you wanted to keep kids safe from it, that would be the way to do it, but the best way is to educate them. It has a very interesting wire clip, pretty much deep carry or close to deep carry. But here's the thing that makes this unique, is the wheel opening. Now this had to be tuned. I took it apart and loosened the detent a little bit because it was just chewing the heck out of my finger, but it's a very quick open with that little gear wheel. It has kind of a Japanese inspired not Kiridashi, but I forget the name, but you'll tell me. Too many knife styles. I just did a fixed blade one from Williams too. But you get the idea, kind of a small Tonto inspired design. And I'll think of it maybe before we wrap it up. You've got that last standoff there, which can sort of act as a lanyard attachment point. As you can see, it's nicely skeletonized on the inside. There is a review of this and all of these knives individually on my channel. Holds very well, nice ergos. It's a smaller knife, and it did come through just blazing sharp right out of the box. It has that kind of layered G10 or carbon fiber on top of G10 that a lot of people don't really care for. It is made in Taiwan. It is CPM S30V, and it is narrow blade but slicey, flat grind, nice brushed finish on that guy. That is the Ikuchi. Transferable clip, by the way, into those deep pockets there, so it isn't going anywhere. One screw, but it's locked in by the handle scales. Here's an odd one that I kind of like because it is designed for pakal or pikal hold, point down, edge in. Has a removable wave opening feature, which is just a steel rod that screws into the thickness of the blade. It is a bar lock. I'm going to call it a bar lock because I don't know the name, unfortunately. Not being a big SpyderCo collector, you probably will know the name for this type of lock. But it's a clear plastic studs that connect to steel inside. But I think in essence, the idea is a locking bar similar to an Axis, similar to an Able lock on Hogue, so on and so forth. It is uniquely shaped so that you've got a place for your fingers and your pinky, a little guard there in this position. It still can be used in the point up or edge up, point forward position in an upward ripping motion. It is designed strictly as a self-defense knife, tactical self-defense knife. It was designed by somebody who goes by the name of Southnark. And again, I don't have his real name on the tip of my tongue, but for the longest time he was called Southnark and wasn't using his real name, and now he has come out with an entire system of point down, edge in, or edge up techniques that are mainly supporting handgun defense, close in, and he has designed some blades that kind of go along with that. But this was one of the first commercially available ones with his design. And this is a USA made knife. They may or may not still be available. CPM S30V. Sharp as the dickens. So many SpyderCos come through with an excellent factory edge. Very bitey. Look at all that jimping there. It's a smaller knife. It's designed to be clenched firmly and be used to rip and tear. Very vicious kind of design. That is the Pikal. And there's an emblem on there. I haven't had this one out in a while, so there's, I think, the serpent design. Is it a serpent design? Yeah, it looks like a serpent design of the creator. And I know a lot of you guys out there know the designer, and you will correct me. Here we have a Karambit design. This is from VG10. This is made in Japan. So I don't think they have any knives made in Japan anymore. Seiki City, Japan. And Mr. Emerson gets the credit for the wave opening feature there with his patent number, which is great. It is an interesting ring on this because it is split. There's two halves joined in the back by a back lock with a cutout so you don't accidentally close it when you're gripping it tight. And can be wave opened or using the Spydie hole. You can hold it edge forward, point up. You can hold it in the traditional Karambit form with the point down, edge forward. And I did also put an MXG clip on this one for as much as it can be deep carried. Your pocket line comes maybe close to half through the hole there, so not bad. You still got a place to grab it with your finger and pull it up from your pants pocket. It is switchable left and right, so you can pull it up this way and it will open in the right hand into the traditional Karambit position. Interesting little knife, and it's right sized for a Karambit too. Some of the Karambits there, other manufacturers are designing these days, are a little bit too large for actual use if you know what you're doing. Well, I saved perhaps the most unusual one for last, and this is the Autonomy. Do I have that right? Let me check that. I was close. The Autonomy. The Anomaly, something else. This is an auto. I'm not sure. Yep, I had to unlock it. Now that is taking from the traditional sort of SpyderCo blade shape, wouldn't you say? Even to the little bird's beak on the handle. But it is an auto with a huge kind of cylindrical dish for the opener. And I'm taking it, here's your token spider hole, by the way. You're not going to open it with that. They got to include that no matter what. Somebody even told me on one of their fixed blades it was for lashing. I don't think this is for lashing. This is designed to be a outdoor working everything knife, maybe for even a linesman or somebody who needs to get to their knife with one hand quickly. Definitely a working knife, and it's from their LC200, I think. Let's see if I can find that. Yep, LC200V. You can barely see that. There it is. And that is their corrosion resistant, I think almost no rust stainless. Don't know a whole lot about it, unfortunately. You can lock it in the open position or in the closed position. So once I do that, it will not fire. That's good if you're just dropping it in your pocket with other stuff. If you're using the clip, probably not a problem. You probably could, I don't know if you could or not, put a deep carry clip on this, but for this type of knife you may not need or want to. But just a really interesting auto. And I bet you many of you didn't think that SpyderCo made autos, but they do. And there's a few different blade versions and handle color versions on that one. Let's see if we got room here to line them all up again. The Autonomy, if I forget that name again. Kind of falling off my background here, which I don't like to do. No, this isn't my real stone countertop. And so there we have the 5. The Pikal, the Ikuchi, the Tropon, the Autonomy, and the Karahawk is the name for the Karambit. Hope you enjoyed this video. Trying to do some collection vids and mix them in with some new knife reviews. Should have some new knife reviews coming out very soon, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe. Be back with you soon.